you never watch a Terry Funk match and go, God, when's this thing going to be over? Right? Like you're glued to the very end. It could be a 45, 50, 60-minute match. You go, man, that was 60 minutes. It's only 5 minutes.
What was the relationship like between Terry and Dory? Because is it just like a brotherly relationship, sometimes good, sometimes bad? Because I know they had their issues here and there, but I never quite knew what they were.
Nor I. It's very different styles. You know, like having been in the ring with both of them great. But very different styles. I think Dory maintained throughout the entirety of his career that wrestling purist type thing. He's going to be that Dory Funk through the whole thing, and perfectly awesome. You know, I mean, you can't say anything negative about it. But again, like I think Terry would get in there and bend to like what the prevailing was. He didn't stop being Terry Funk. He would take Terry Funk into that genre, and I think that if you look at their, Dory, of course, didn't go to the movies, and Terry did. And like I always talk about the people who you can't take your eyes off of. I remember going to see Roadhouse for the first time, and there was a general feeling that, okay, the wrestlers are in these movies, they're going to be okay, but you sort of you tarnish down the expectation. It's going to be okay, but they're not going to be great. Terry was phenomenal on camera, and I remember that I'd seen him before that in Tin Pan Alley. With Sylvester Stallone. Didn't know at the time he was a wrestler, but later somebody said, hey, remember the guy that wore the sausage suit? And oh yeah, I remember that movie. Went back and watched it after. Sure enough, he was great in it. And I don't want to suggest that there was like any animosity between them. They always, like when Dory would come in and have those matches in ECW, or we would go to Florida and have matches down at Dory's promotion. There was like, they were the two Funk brothers. This one was going to do this and this one was going to do that. I don't recall ever seeing animosity between them. I've heard the same thing, like at times there was distances or there was heat between them. To be honest with you, I'd heard my take on that. The things that I were hearing was that was more based on wives than the brothers. Now, I don't know if that's accurate or not. One thing about Terry is that's, it might sound strange, is that as well as we knew him, we knew Terry Funk, the wrestler. Very seldom did you see that peek into Terry Funk, the Family Guy. The only time that I remember seeing it was when he had that show in Amarillo where he wrestled Brett in an amazing match. And he had a great big picnic at his Double Cross Ranch. I always grew up like thinking, okay, like once I got the business, Double Cross Ranch is like an imaginary place, like that doesn't really exist. It's like Pier 6, it's or Outer Mongolia. And we get there and there's this beautiful spread, this beautiful ranch with a little creek river running through it and mountains on the other side, massive spread, cattle down there, and enough food that could have fed the entire audience. It was just a massive, and seeing him interacting then with Vicky, which Vicky was always around when he was on the road, at least in my time. But then meeting his daughters and seeing, Terry, this loving, doting father, and it was quite a look in his eyes. I'm thinking, boy, I never see that guy at the building. He's always like game face guy, and it was what a life, and the career that he left. Especially for the kids out there, and I please don't take this the wrong way. Watch his matches, and there are times when it looks like Terry's doing nothing, and just pay attention. He's doing something there. It's either he's allowing the match to breathe, giving the fans their chance to get in. You never watch a Terry Funk match and go, God, when's this thing going to be over? Right? Like you're glued to the very end. It could be a 45, 50, 60-minute match. You go, man, that was 60 minutes. It's only 5 minutes. And that's because of Terry Funk. He was born to be in the ring, right? I mean, that was his deal. Like and boy, what a master he was when he was in it.